Ciao, I'm Anna Harsh, professional dancer, author, and host of the Dance Floor podcast, the podcast that offers you advice, tips, and unique ways to find those life lessons that improve our lives. So grab your dance shoes and join me on the dance floor. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Anna Harsh, and today I have a super crazy cool guest with me, Salvatore Guglielmo. He's a percussionist, a dancer, and a new Allegro dance company ambassador. Sal, I know we kind of met not too long ago, maybe within the last year, I would say, and tell the listeners how you found me and the long train ride that you took to get to me, I guess.
Yes. Well, I think we met online and then through a mutual, and then we got to talking, and then sooner or later we performed together in Buffalo, New York for the Italian Festival. And then I've also been to your studio where I taught drumming, percussion, Italian percussion, tamburello and tamburiata and pizzica to all of your dancers as well. And now we are here again talking about
We
the
are
same
on
things.
the dance floor again talking about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
We have so many things in common. Our passion for our Italian heritage and the drumming and the dancing and the rhythms that we share through these folk dances. Tell the listeners a little bit about your family is from where in Italy.
Yeah, so my family all comes from the south. So everywhere from Sicilia and Abruzzo and Calabria and really all throughout the south there. No one from Puglia, even though even though we talk about pizzica and that's from Puglia,
I
but
know we're both obsessed with
I
Puglia.
know
We're obsessed.
not that I know of, but
Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows in
yeah.
the DNA? We'll trace it back. It's something will be traced back to Puglia, I'm sure. Well, Sal, I know we had a great time, not only dancing together in Buffalo, New York. Gosh, that was such a beautiful festival. And I was thrilled to have you on stage with us. I know you're from Buffalo and you grew up there. And what a wonderful festival. And we did so
Hmm.
many cool dances there for the crowd. And I was excited to meet everyone in the community. And we gave a nice workshop right after where you played live for me
Yes.
and everybody got a chance to join in and learn these dances, which is so cool to learn and show and share with the community. I think that when we have those opportunities, we need to snatch them, right? And take them up
Absolutely.
on everybody's time there so we can celebrate together and be one with the community. So that's a few reasons why I think the next generation should really jump in to absorbing this kind of dance style
Yes.
and take us up on our offers for drumming lessons and dance lessons to learn more about the rhythms and the heritage and these beautiful dances from Italy. So one reason it builds community instantaneously. We saw that in Buffalo when we were giving that workshop and everybody's gathered in a circle and we held hands. And as soon as you started playing, I could see everybody light up.
Mm.
So, talk a little bit about the rhythms and the differences. I know one has a completely different tempo than the
Hmm.
other. So, talk a little bit about the differences of tamariata and pizzica.
Yeah, so pizzica is a 6/8 rhythm. It's a very fast, lively rhythm. And tambariata is a 4/4 rhythm. It has this very earthy feel to it. And, the dances also correspond to that music as well. So, pizzica, it's lots of fast foot movement and, very, very bouncy. Tambariata is a little bit more to the ground. You get that more kind of like earthy, that kind of almost boxiness to it, but not square. It's a flow. It's a flow, but it fits in that mirroring of the person. And you have the same thing with pizzica. You mirror that person a little bit too. And it's that communication you have. Just as you said, when we were in Buffalo there, you see people, they get nervous at first. They start to engage, and then in 10, 20 minutes later, I think they forget that they're even in a dance. It becomes this almost like little party of talking without talking necessarily, and
Yes.
they start to
We,
know
we,
each other.
we have those conversations. We talk about how dance is a conversation without words, and we are connecting through that rhythm that you were playing.
Hmm.
Tell the listeners a little bit about your drum. It looks
Yeah.
like a tambourine, but it's a little larger.
Exactly, exactly. And the English, the American idea of tambourine is completely different from the Italian idea of tambourine. So you have the tamburello, it's a much smaller tambourine, and then you have the tamora, and that's the bigger one. That's where you would play the tamariata on. The tamburello is the one you would play the pizzica on. It's much smaller. And so the much smaller ones, you typically get faster rhythms on, and the larger ones, you typically get a little bit slower rhythms on because they have so much more resonance. They have that deeper sound to them. And you have the jingles on the side. They all have jingles on the side of them, and that's what creates that sound, almost like that rushing kind of clapping sound when you do play.
Yeah, there's two jingles, so it makes a
Mm-hmm.
noise, and you have to have two to make it. Otherwise, it just sounds weird. So I
Mm-hmm.
always like to tell audiences or students that you need two because you need two people to dance a tarantella. You need a partner. Having those jingles on the side reminds us of that. And
Mm-hmm.
can you give a little explanation? I know we've chatted back and forth
Mm-hmm.
about you were helping me learn all the rhythms, and so I could
Mm-hmm.
possibly eventually play them better enough to, assist at a workshop or maybe on stage soon. Who knows? I'm practicing, Sal, but I'm not perfect yet. But I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it, to practice and
Absolutely.
enjoy the journey
Absolutely.
and connect with your heritage in a really completely different way. And I love
Mm-hmm.
this. So you're really connecting through these rhythms.
Absolutely.
And so that's another reason why I think the next generation really loves it because it's a physical connection. You can feel that in your hand, holding the instrument and playing these rhythms that are thousands of years old. So we're
Absolutely.
we're connecting to history, we're connecting to our culture by playing these rhythms. So can you describe, I know we have a cupping hand a little
Mm-hmm.
bit for pizzica, I believe. Talk a little bit about the
Yeah.
hand placement, kind of describe it to us since we're not seeing you play.
Yeah, absolutely. There's many, many different types of ways to play these songs. There's many ways I don't use, there's many ways I learn still, and there's many ways I do know how. And I always see somebody play it a little bit differently. And that's the thing about it is that everybody has their own unique style, even with the dancing. They have their own unique way of doing it. And when you, like you said, the cupping motion you get like when you play pizzica, which is a way to do it, it becomes this very, very fast rhythm where you almost get this, it comes so fast it almost becomes a drone, so you get this drone in the background. That's how fast you're
Mhm.
playing it. When you cup your hand, you can play it with your hand open, you get a much more like boom 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 sound. Where you have the hand cupped, you get more of a and the shape of the hand, the way you're playing it, you can augment the sound, and it's very useful depending on how you want it to sound and the reason why you want it to sound that way.
And I know it's not easy at first, but I have to say, for everyone out there that wants to learn, wants to get started like I did, I mean, I got a chance to find someone in Puglia that makes drums.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my friend Andre, who made me my drum
Mm-hmm.
and gave me a little drum lesson there in Italy. I loved it. But when I came home, it was so nice to find someone like yourself that we
Mm,
can continue to practice
absolutely.
and grow together so that we can continue to do these rhythms and share it with the next generation. So,
Absolutely.
Sal, you don't have to go to Italy to get the drum. I'll have to
Sure.
say that to my listeners because I've had that said to me, so you can practice on a book.
Absolutely.
You can practice on a simple small tambourine that you can order on Amazon, let's say,
Mm,
to get started. So for somebody that's new and a beginner and maybe wants to take lessons with you, I mean, is that a good
absolutely.
piece of advice? Like we can practice on
Absolutely.
anything.
Yeah, you don't have to invest all this money into a drum that's handmade and it has this skin, it has brass string or whatever, You
Right.
can, like Anna said, you can pick up a book because half of learning is just getting the motion, is to understanding the music, getting it in your ear, is to hear the rhythm, is to feel it in your wrist. It's just half of knowing it. The instrument can come last. But even
Yeah.
if I've taught people if they had a daf, if they've had a djembe drum, even other drums of different cultures, I've adapted it just to those drums as well because you can still get the motion in your hand going. You can get the rhythm in your body and in your whole being first, and that's what you really have to understand. You have to get it in your body before you can really do it.
Exactly. So you don't need to fly to Italy. Find a percussionist who makes the drums handmade I mean, we're kind of extreme, Sal. Like, we'll do those, but you don't need to do that to learn and grow and, just be a part of the heritage and the culture and connect with it. I think that's part of it, just making that connection. Another reason that I loved it and tapped into it is it enhanced my movement.
Mm.
Like, it taught me a little bit about how I should be dancing these dances by learning the rhythms a little more
Mhm.
intensely with the instrument. So, can you talk a little bit about that? Like, playing it is different than dancing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to think the very first people that played these rhythms, the dances and these rhythms started to coexist. So one influenced the other. And I remember this a short story real quick that I saw this child one time spinning in a circle, and we were playing some drums, and I remember this is in Italy, and he just started spinning, which I thought was interesting because if you in during the Ferragosto, the Giganti, when they play the particular festival rhythm, going down the street, the Giganti, they spin. The
Mm-hmm.
characters, they spin. And this child knew nothing about this, was so young, and just started spinning with the rhythm. So there's something innate in the body, yeah? When you hear these things and you feel these rhythms that you do that. So very much, the body, I think, informs the music as much as the music informs the body when you
It's
dance.
very hypnotic, I have to
Very,
say.
yeah.
And we always talk about the heartbeat, is your first rhythm that you'll learn and experience. And I think that's part of how it connects us all
Hmm.
together.
Very much.
But once you get in tune with the drums, the rhythms, it really will affect your movement as a
Hmm.
dancer. To connect in the dances, you start hearing them a little more intensely. And I think your movement becomes a little more grounded and maybe larger,
Hmm.
even. Like for some of my dancers, once they played with you and we had that
Hmm.
workshop, then they got up and moved a little bit. I was like, oh, it changed their movement
Hmm.
because they understood the
Absolutely.
rhythm a little bit deeper. So I love that. Another reason, Sal, that I think the next generation is tapping into this is because being together as a community and dancing
Hmm.
with one another makes loneliness disappear. We're so attached to our phones, aren't
Mm.
we? We're
Very
so
true.
attached to digital and phones that we don't talk to each other. And when you connect with these rhythms and connect with a partner, it's a different kind of connection than
Hmm.
texting someone. So talk a little bit about that, how the drum is so textural.
It
You
is
you have
very
to be
textual.
present.
You do. You have to be very present. That's the whole nature of that drum too. It's a part of nature. You have the wood, you have the goat skin, you have the metal of the jingles. It's all from the earth that way. And just as you said, people are always on the technology now, and they're so disconnected from one another. They're craving that connection, but I think we're in the age where people don't know how. And I think this is such a great medium to do that with the percussion, the dance that way. And even when people seem nervous at first, just how we were together that time we were teaching, 10, 20 minutes later, they forget that they even were nervous. It's that
Right.
first bridge, that jump into that. So it's very powerful in connecting people, very powerful in just kind of dispersing that emotion of fear, even.
It's easy to do. Come to the class, come to our performance, meet myself or Sal, wherever we are across the country teaching and performing, and connect with us. So, the last thing I'd say, Sal, is that it gives them a worldly view, a global
Mm.
understanding that rhythm connects us all, no matter what. No
Absolutely.
matter what beat or rhythm you're dancing to around the world, because we have listeners around the world. So
Mm.
everybody's got a rhythm, but I'm sure that they will understand that this 6/8 or 4/4 for these tarantellas isn't new. These aren't new rhythms. These are just what we connect to for our own cultural heritage. But lots of cultural dances have a specific rhythm or timing or beats that they dance to. So I think that's what makes us all connected around the world, and
Mm.
that's
Very true.
kind of a bigger beautiful gift, I think, right?
Absolutely.
So how can we take classes with you? Tell my listeners it's a brand new year, so why not try something new? How can we get a
Absolutely.
hold of you and follow you and your journey?
My Instagram, I'm probably the most active on. My website as well. You can always sign up for a class there. Really, I'm very, very open. I mean, you can write to me on Instagram. You can write to me through my email to anything and just say, hey, I have a question. And then just, you know, you're going to have a conversation with me. You want to just have a Zoom and talk about it because you have questions, we can do that. Or just, you know, call me on the phone and we can talk about it. I'm very open to that. But really, I teach private classes, I teach group classes, dancing, drumming. Even some people have just wanted to know the history of it and just really get down into the depth of why, how did this start? Why did this begin? Teach people just on that as well. So, yeah, don't ever be afraid to reach out to me. I'm sure we can put the link somewhere.
Yeah, I can put it's just your name.com, right?
Yeah, that's it. Just real simple. Just myname.com. Yeah.
Okay, so I will put your website on the show notes
Yep.
and then tell us your Instagram handle as well.
Yeah, again, just my first and last name and then underscore.
All right, perfect. So I
Yeah.
will include those in the show notes and talk to Sal about this drumming. I know I'm taking lessons. I've been practicing. It's going. Sal, I'm practicing.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it every day.
I'm not perfect yet, but I am practicing. So I encourage everybody out there to step outside of your comfort zone, do something different, and you might find that it enhances your dancing qualities for sure. I mean, I hear the rhythms a little bit differently now that I'm playing them as a percussionist, you know, playing them differently and dancing them in a new light for sure. Sal, that's incredible. And you'll have to come back and talk a little bit about the animals and
Yeah,
all the other histories that we've been chatting
absolutely.
about for the dances. And gosh, Italy is filled with the history, right?
Mm.
So, such a rich culture. So, if you're new to Italian culture, definitely write to me and Sal, and we will definitely lead you on a path of new adventures of dance and drumming and all things Italian. Sal, thank you so much for sharing your time on the dance
Thank
floor
you.
with me. And I can't wait to see you again in New York
Yes,
and connect and dance again together for sure.
absolutely.
Thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the 5-star button and make our shine. I'm your host, Anna Harsh. And until next time, keep moving to your own beat on the dance floor.